just, okay, just a second, and I'm going to get it connected to Instagram. For this session, everyone, you're going to need to have a piece of paper or a journal of some kind. I'm going to be optimizing how we do this, right? But, you know, there's nothing like diving into things and just getting down and dirty before feeling like you need to optimize. And so that's what this week is all about. Each day at 7:45 PST, so Pacific Standard Time. I'm in Vegas right now. So if you're in California, pretty much anybody, we're in the West, so Pacific Coast Time. 7:45. If you're in Mountain Time, 8:45. If you're in Central Time, it's going to be 9:45. And if you're on the East Coast Time, it will be 10:45. That we'll be meeting 15 minutes before work, or if in that case you have meetings and now this is when you want to do it. We're going to be meeting to talk about actually how we're going to execute for the day. So 7:45 means that at 5:30 in the morning PST, we're meeting and we are setting our mindset straight, reviewing our goals, our action plans in our Empowered Day planner or in a journal to kind of recenter and gain mindfulness. At 7:45, right before the work day starts, we're going to come together and actually talk about what are some of these tangible goals that we can be executing on that are going to help drive our major results. One thing that we know is that yes, proper preparation prevents poor performance, hence planning and understanding the day before exactly what we need to do to get done. But the reality is that this is for revenue generating professionals. So people who are in sales, who are customer client success, who are call setters, SDRs, anything within that realm. You have your own business and your livelihood depends on your ability to be able to generate revenue. This is for you. So I will be putting together a empowered performance worksheet, essentially. You know, currently work for someone you guys might be meeting already, but again, if you're driving this yourself, your vision, then this is truly for you because you have people holding you accountable each day. And I am here to help hold you accountable as we set our revenue generating activities, the things that we can be doing throughout our day that are actually going to be driving the biggest results. So for today, I want you to think about your day as if it's blocked up into different chunks, right? So why this is important is because we can spend so much time working every single day, but a lot of that work can truly give us and yield us very limited results in terms of the tangible targets or the tangible results that we're able to get. So things that we do each day are new calls, LinkedIn messages. You know, Hormozi has this 1-1-1 thing where it's like one, I forget the third one, but maybe it's delivery. But it's have one main source of how you drive revenue and one offer and one, I don't remember actually, I got to look that up. But what really hits there is it's the one. So it's the one. So the one is, you know, for us right now, we're going to be really working LinkedIn. So it's the first time I've been on LinkedIn. A lot of people just go to LinkedIn for new jobs or they go just to have a presence there, but that doesn't mean they're very active. If you're in a sales revenue generating position, sales position, this type of thing, this is where it's a great place where everyone is already, right? You're probably already on LinkedIn. You're probably already sourcing clients from that platform, because if you have a lot of value to offer, why wouldn't people want to take you up on that, right? And so right there is a primed audience. If you're B2B, especially B2C, depending on, you know, what your role is, that is a great time to be able to get those clients and to be able to engage people and just have conversations so that you know what the needs are of that individual. So I know that people who are in this current kind of position like we're in, you know, new calls, reaching out to people. You've got your cold calls that you can reach out to. You've got your warm leads in your phone that you can reach out to. You can just send emails to people, whether it's cold or warm emails. You can be sending text messages. Ideally, depending on where you're at in your journey, a lot of this can be automated. If you're not that far in your journey, a lot of this is going to be manual. So then the following up, and you have your systems for following up, right? Money is made in the follow-up. So your total new outreaches. So the idea is that you want to start tracking, because what gets reviewed or what gets measured, right, can be improved. So if we're not measuring what we do each day and the outcomes that we're able to achieve each day, then we could work for 12, 14 hours and maybe have done nothing. And after months and months or years and years of doing that, you're going to see, if I don't change something now, right? What's insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and then expecting a different result. So if you're not quite getting the results, or you're wanting to go up to the next level, or, you know, whether it's 10,000 a month or 100,000 a month or $1 million a month, depending where you're at in that, you know, you're going to want to make sure that these systems are there, so and your follow through is there, and you're looking and reviewing at the numbers and the data. So, you know, if I'm sending 50 out now and I want to double my current results, how do I get to 100? What do I got to do? Where do I create that time? Where do I create that space? You know, maybe it's I'm taking a few hours on the weekend and really working the weekend. Maybe it's the evening. Maybe it's early hours, right? Maybe we meet at 7:45 or 5:45, and from 5:45, 6 o'clock hour, and you're already hitting the phones to see who are those, you know, high achievers, high performers, CEOs, the C-suite team that you would get a hold of that would be the decision maker for whatever it is that you're offering. So other new ideas would be, how do you break up your day? Okay. So, and again, everybody's schedule is different. Everybody has different levels of responsibility, different things that they need to be present for, right? But you got to worry about yourself. So the Empowered Day method is exercise, meditate, plan. So we've already exercised and meditated in the day, and it's only 7:45. The next is planning. The planning should have already happened the night before. Planning is done. We have we're really organized and we get our systems down, then we can move a lot faster and save a lot of time. Writing out our goals, being really intimate with what it is that we want to do and achieve, and keeping that as the focal point. I don't know about you, but it's really easy to get distracted in this world. And that's why we have the Empowered Day Planner, because what this does is this literally helps you define the distractions that you're looking for, or that you're presented with each day, so you can consciously go in the day being like, I know what I need to avoid today. And the reality is that we're pulled in 1,000 different directions every day, and we can trim the steak as much as we want, trim the fat, and try to lean down and only have things in our life that we can focus on that are actually going to get us results in our mental health, physical health, emotional health, our family, our relationships, all the things. The planner helps us be very intentional with how we schedule our weeks, so that we are putting deposits into each of those areas of life. But on a holistic level, we want to make sure that if we're not properly planning, right, proper preparation prevents poor performance, the night before, when we go to do these things in the day, and we're starting at 8 a.m. just coming up with our plan, we're already behind. And so organizing, writing out our goals so we can stay focused and eliminate the distractions, right? And again, we need to remind ourselves all the time, every day, what is our goal? What is our goal? What is our goal? So that way we are actually focusing on that and achieving that goal. Then we've got exercise, which we would have already done early in the morning. I recommend an AM, PM. So a walk at some point, some strength training, whatever your routine is. Maybe you don't have a routine. Maybe it's you're sitting in a meeting and you put a band on your legs as an empowered habit for you to be able to do some resistance training when you're already working. There's a concept I'll talk a lot about, which is called double dipping. So this is when you can use the different times. So you're in the car on your way to work. What could you be doing in the car on the way to work? You could also be learning, right? Because we know learning is a huge part of every day. And when you're taking time to actually be whatever it is, advancing some kind of skill, you know, when no one wants to fall behind. So if you're advancing that skill and you're really taking that intentional time to be like, today I'm learning about LinkedIn strategies. Today I'm learning about, and you go into the day knowing what you could optimize, you're going to, first of all, not fall behind. And second of all, you're going to be actually ahead of the curve. And so that's what we want to do and cultivate. And so that's the E, the educate, after we review. So review is making sure we're always looking and measuring our results, hence coming up with daily targets that we want to achieve. And then you've got your educate and stay disciplined, and it's just doing it every day. And I challenge you to think about, if you showed up for this goal setting session, if you showed up for the mindfulness session because you need it, maybe you're somebody who already does this, awesome. You're on a level that is admirable and that people can look up to you to aim to achieve. If you're in a situation where you're trying to build and structure, you're trying to create the habits, you're trying to, and you need people to hold you accountable, that's what this is for. So thinking about today, what are your numbers? How many new calls do you want to put out? Okay, and I'm actually going to do this as we go because my team is also on this call and they should more or less be doing it as well. And so, like I said, I'm in the process of creating a tool to be able to help us stay focused and have this as a reference point to review each day. But new calls, write it down. LinkedIn messages, write it down. Email sent. Write it down. Text messages sent. Write it down. These are the things we want to review. Total new outreaches. This could be cold or warm. How many follow-ups are you going to do? How many discovery calls do you have on your calendar? Could you put on your calendar? How many presentations or demos? Could be also a discovery call, could be a presentation in person, depending on what your strategy is. Proposals sent. Talk about warm leads. How many people you know that might know someone? So request for referrals. LinkedIn posts or social media, depending on your strategy for marketing. How many deals were you able to close? And then just track how much revenue did you generate today? Depending on what your schedule looks like, we should have already done this, and we'll get really good at doing this together. Where and what does your time blocks look like? What are you doing from 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11? Can you block it into 90-minute blocks? Are you doing something more creative that requires a 3-hour potential deep work session where you turn off your phone and you go into a room, put in some earplugs, some focus music, and you just focus? Are you all calls? Is there a treadmill you can hop on and walk on and make these calls? Again, double dipping. How can you do a couple things at the same time that actually helps energize you and keep you focused? That is the aim. All right, our time is now up. Next week we will start. I wanted to be mindful this week, because I'm starting a new habit. Again, never, ever should we go into a situation where we do it all at once. That is a surefire way to fail. However, if you come into these sessions, or for me, coming into putting on these sessions, we started with 5:30, 5:45, and we will start getting into next week at 12:45. So just a check-in, a re-energizing session before our afternoon, a 4:45 review session, and then I think 8 o'clock preparation for the night before, maybe 8:30. I got to kind of figure out, maybe it's 8, because I too need to start getting to bed earlier now that we've shifted the timeline. So that being said, I hope you have a wonderful, productive day. Remember, your life, your journey, your choice. So how you use your time is up to you, and may you get the results you desire. Bye.